I woke up in my sister's body, screaming her name into a mirror that lied back at me. But the real horror hit when I realized she'd stolen my life, framed me for embezzling from our family's real estate empire, served my 3 years in a minimum security hellhole upstate, and now paraded around Manhattan like she owned the skyline. The betrayal wasn't just blood deep, it was bone deep. A switch flipped in some black market neural lab her Wall Street shark husband paid top dollar for. Because apparently, ruining me wasn't enough, she had to wear me to seal the deal. And the kicker? When I clawed my way back to my pre-prison address, the doorman buzzed me up with a smirk, saying, "Miss Harper, your sister's expecting company," as if 3 years of my sweat and tears had evaporated into her perfect Instagram feed. That first morning in Elena's skin felt like drowning in silk sheets that smelled of Chanel No. 5 and regret. I bolted upright in her penthouse bed, our family's old pied a terre on the Upper East Side, the one Dad left to me in his will, back when he thought I was the steady one, the fixer, not the wild child who'd burn it all down for a thrill. My hands, her hands, were manicured to perfection, nails like blood-red daggers, but they trembled as I touched my face. High cheekbones that weren't mine, lips plumped by some Beverly Hills surgeon I'd never afford, eyes the color of trust fund turquoise staring back from the vanity mirror. Elena. My big sister. The golden girl who'd always eclipse me, even in utero, hogging the oxygen like it was her birthright. I stumbled to the bathroom, retching into the marble sink. But nothing came up except bile and the echo of her voice in my head. "Mia's the screw-up. Always has been. Let her take the fall." It played on loop. A glitch from the swap. Neural echoes bleeding through whatever Frankenstein tech her husband, Victor Langford, had cooked up in that off-books lab in Jersey. Victor, the hedge fund prince with a jawline like a shark and ethics like vaporware. He'd whispered promises of enhanced reality to Elena during their honeymoon in Aspen. But really, it was his escape hatch, a way to offload his dirty deals onto a disposable sister-in-law while he and Elena played house in my inheritance. 3 years. That's how long I'd rotted in that white-collar spa they called a prison. All because Elena, accidentally, routed those client funds through my login, millions skimmed from Dad's legacy developments. The ones I'd clawed to save after his heart attack in 22. She cried on the stand, all doe-eyed innocence, swearing I'd gone rogue, jealous of her perfect life. The jury ate it up. Mom, half sedated on Xanax, just nodded along. And Victor? He testified remotely from Dubai, his video feed crisp as his alibi. But freedom's a funny thing. Parole came early, good behavior, they said, like I hadn't spent nights plotting their evisceration in crayon on prison issue paper. The swap happened 2 weeks ago. Some glitch in Victor's prototype neural bridge. A body tourism toy for the 1%ers who wanted to test drive youth or power without the mess. Elena had volunteered me as the guinea pig, sedated during a family visit that turned out to be her final fuck you. She woke up in my post-prison shell, lean, tattooed from a dumb fling in 20, but free and furious, while I blinked into her polished prison of perfection. I rifled through her closet, yanking on a black sheath dress that hugged curves I'd kill for on a good day. My curves? Technically, but Elena had augmented them with trainers and tweaks. The doorman downstairs, Carlos, who'd slipped me contraband smokes back when I was the tenant of record, did a double take as I descended in her Louboutins. "Miss Harper, you look different. Glow up." I forced her laugh, light and tinkling like wind chimes in a hurricane. "Just the new year, Carlos." Speaking of, has anyone buzzed up for the apartment? Old habits. He chuckled, punching the intercom. Your sister's got it locked down now. Some kinda sublet drama. But she pays on time.
Sister.
The word twisted like a knife. Elena, in my body, had waltzed in 6 months post my arrest, flashing forged papers from Victor's lawyers. Temporary hardship, she'd cooed, and the board caved. My view of Central Park, my rooftop garden with the heirloom tomatoes Dad planted, gone to her and her parade of lovers. Because Victor's business trips left her lonely. I hailed a cab to my old building on West 72nd, the pre-war co-op where I'd rebuilt after college, scraping by on freelance graphic design while Elena jet-set. The driver, a grizzled vet with a Yankees cap, eyed me in the rear view. You look like trouble.
Lady.
That the face you wear when you're about to burn Rome? Close enough, I muttered, Elena's voice purring out smooth as bourbon. Inside, my pulse hammered like a jackhammer on asphalt. The lobby smelled of fresh lilies and lies, same as always. The super, Mrs. Kowalski, was at her desk, flipping through people with Elena's face splashed on a society page spread, Harper heiress heels post-cis scandal. I gagged inwardly. Mrs.
K.
Long time. Meow around? I need to. Water her plants. Elena's charm was a weapon, honed on boardrooms and bedrooms. She squinted, then beamed. Miss Elena, your sister's subletting the unit now, some artist type. Buzz her up, my keys still worked parole perk. Or so I'd thought. But when I slid into the elevator, the panel lit up for the penthouse, not my 5th floor walk-up.
No.
Elena had finagled the upgrade, trading my lease for her emotional support during my incarceration. The doors dinged open to my hallway, redecorated in her boho chic bullshit, macrame on the walls, succulents choking the air. And there, propped against my door, was the stranger. He was mid-30s, all brooding indie band vibes, tousled hair, paint-splattered jeans, a messenger bag slung low like he carried the weight of unpublished novels. Tinder fodder. Probably. The kind Elena collected like Pokemon cards. He straightened when he saw me, flashing a grin that screamed harmless creative. You must be Mia. Elena said you'd be back today. Something about closing the loop? His voice had that affected Brooklyn drawl, like he'd minored in irony at NYU. I froze, key biting into my palm. In her body, I was the intruder, the ghost haunting her hookup schedule. But this was the fracture point. Elena, in my skin, had posted the ad, spacious Upper West Side gem, sublet to a fellow dreamer. Open door policy. And this guy, let's call him Jake for the poetry of it, had bitten, keys in hand, ready to play house in my fantasy. Actually, I said, Elena's lilt dripping honeyed venom. I'm Elena. Mia's. Indisposed, I twisted the key. But he held up his copy, duped. Of course. Double-booked betrayal. He laughed. Awkward. Weird twin thing? She mentioned that. Look, I just drove in from Bushwick. Can we sort this inside? I've got a 6-pack and a pitch for a collab.
Collab.
The word ignited something feral. Elena's life was all collabs, networking, schmoozing, screwing her way to absolution. While I'd borne the fall for her theft, her addiction-fueled haze that drained Dad's accounts before his ticker gave out. She'd confessed once. Drunk on Rose at our Hamptons house. You always clean up. Little sis. This time. Just. Sign here. I done it. Loyal idiot. Thinking blood was thicker. Victor covered the traces. Pinned it on me. And poof, swap complete. Fine. I purred, shoving the door wide.
Come on in.
Let's make it a party. He stepped past, oblivious, dumping his bag on my Eames chair. The apartment hit like a gut punch, my bookshelves rearranged into aesthetic stacks. My kitchen island littered with her essential oils. Jake whistled, cracking a beer. This place is gold. Elena said it was a fresh start after. You know, family drama. I locked the door. Slow. The click echoing like a chambered round. Drama?
Oh.
Honey, you have no idea. In the dim afternoon light slanting through Central Park views, I watched him sip, settling onto the couch like he belonged. Elena's fantasy, the artist in the garret, redeeming her troubled past. My reality? The noose tightening. We talked for an hour, small talk laced with reconnaissance. He was a sculptor, fresh off a Soho showing, chasing the muse in Manhattan's meat grinder. Elena's vibe is intense, he admitted, eyes lingering on my legs crossed just so. Like she's hiding a novel in her smile. She's full of stories, I replied, pouring wine from my 19 Napa stash. Twists you never see coming. As the alcohol warmed Elena's veins, I probed. Her schedule, gala tonight. Victor in D.C. Her secrets, a safe in the bedroom. Combo her wedding date. Jake flirted. Clueless. His hand brushing mine, her skin crawling. By dusk, the plan crystallized. Dark and delicious. I'd lured him here to shatter the illusion. But why stop at eviction? Let the stranger end it. Witness the unraveling. Become the catalyst. Stay the night, I whispered. Elena's seduction a blade wrapped in velvet. Show me your art. He did. Sketches spilling across the floor. Abstract torsos. Twisted in ecstasy and agony. One caught me, a woman split down the middle. One half porcelain. The other cracked clay. Inspired by Elena's tales, he said. The sister who vanished into the system. My laugh was shards. Vanished? Or reborn? I led him to the bedroom, my sanctuary. Now her boudoir of betrayal, where framed photos mocked Elena and Victor's wedding. Me cropped out, Mom toasting Elena's resilience. Under the duvet, as he kissed her neck, I whispered the truth in fragments.
Testing.
He pulled back, eyes wide. Wait, you're the original, I hissed. And tonight, weary write the ending. He bolted upright, pants half off, scrambling for sense. This is fucked. I'm calling her. I snatched his phone. Elena's strength surprising even me. Call her, and your collateral. But help me, and you get the story of the century. The swap. The frame. The fall.
Outside.
Sirens wailed, City Symphony. Or Omen. Jake paced, torn between fleeing and feeding the beast.
Proof, he demanded.
Show me. I did. The neural scar at Elena's nape. A faint port from the lab, hidden under concealer. My tattoo, a vine of thorns wrapping loyalty, now inked on her hip, where I'd gotten it post-Dad's funeral, vowing to hold the family. He traced it, shivering. Jesus.
Mia.
This is insane. Insane's what she bet on. I outlined the play. He'd pose as the scorned subletter. Discover Elena's docs in the safe, bank records, the forged emails pinning the embezzlement on me. Leak to Victor's rivals. Anonymous. Through Jake's art world whispers. But first, the hook. Crasher Gala.
Me in her skin.
Him as arm candy. Dropping bombshells mid-toast. Dawn crept in. Gray as guilt. Jake dressed. Resolve hardening. For the art, he said. But his eyes said thrill. I watched him go. Key in hand, my key. Now his weapon. Alone, I stripped Elena's dress, standing naked before the full-length mirror. Her body,
My war zone.
the safe yielded fast, files fat with fraud. A letter from Victor, my love. The switch is flawless. Mia's shell suits you. Discard the husk. Husk.
Me.
Rage bloomed, black as the Hudson at midnight. This wasn't just revenge, it was reclamation. By noon, I was en route to the lab, Victor's Jersey lair, disguised as a follow-up consult. Elena's Amex bought silence from the cabbie. Her Rolodex held the guard's name. Inside, amid humming servers and cryopods,
DR.
Hale, the spectacled weasel with a god complex, blinked at Elena. Neural integrity check, he stammered. Something like that. I dosed him with his own sedative. Elena's poise a perfect mask. While he slumped, I hacked the console, child's play for a girl who'd coded Dad's first websites. Backups deleted. Prototypes fried. No more swaps. No escape for them. Back in the city, Jake texted, Gala intel, Elena's speech prepped. Overcoming loss.
Barf.
I prepped too, Elena's gown. A crimson sheath screaming blood in the water. The plaza's ballroom glittered like fool's gold. Chandeliers dripping on the elite. Hedge bros in tuxes. Socialites with Botox smiles. Victor held court. Silver fox facade cracking under champagne flutes. Elena, in me, glided beside. My lean frame padded with illusions, laughing at jokes that weren't hers. I slipped in as Elena, air-kissing cheeks. Jake on my arm like a prop from a noir flick. Whispers rippled. The sisters' reunion? Victor's eyes narrowed, sensing the glitch. Elena froze mid-sip. Our gazes locking across the room. Two faces. One war. Darling, I cooed. Closing in. You look ravishing in my skin. The mic was live. Her toast cued. Gasps rippled as I seized it. Voice booming. To family. To secrets buried deeper than bodies. Like how my sister framed me for her highs. Swapped souls to steal my life. And now parades my parole as her redemption arc. Chaos erupted, flutes shattering. Flashes popping. Elena lunged, my old fists flailing. But Jake blocked. Phone recording. It's all here, he yelled, waving the drive. Emails. Transfers. Victor's, too. Security swarmed. But not before Victor bolted for the exits. Elena shrieking denials in my timbre. I let them drag her, us, away. The crowd a frenzy of iPhones and outrage. TMZ trucks idled outside. By morning, body swap scandal trended. But the real twist? In the squad car, Elena spatted at me, cuffed side by side. You think I framed you? Dad knew. He cooked the books first, your fixer moves hit his cancer bills. I took the fall to protect you. Little sis.
Victor.
He swapped us to save me from the probe. You're the villain. Wearing my innocence. Lies, or the reversal. Mom's call from the station confirmed. Dad's suicide note. Burned. Blaming himself. Elena's theft. Covering his debts. I'd signed. Unknowingly sealing her sacrifice. Victor? Her reluctant savior. The tech his atonement. The cell door clanged. Happy ending? Or tragic loop? As Jake's exposé hit the New Yorker, painting me the vengeful phantom, I smiled into the mirror. My face again. Post-reverse swap in custody. Fantasy ended. But whose? The fluorescent buzz of Riker's intake was a far cry from the plaza's sparkle. But it sharpened everything into focus, like the truth serum Victor must have laced into that reversal jab the feds forced at dawn. Elena's words clawed at me, not as venom, but as the hook I'd swallowed whole. Dad's note? I'd seen scraps in his desk, dismissed as ramblings. For Mia, keep building. Building empires on sand. It turned out. His lung cancer, stage 4 by the merger in 21, had bled the trusts dry. Elena, ever the eldest, had funneled loans to offshore docks, experimental, futile. When auditors circled, she routed through my codes, the ones I'd shared in sisterly trust. Protect you, she'd sobbed that night. I'd nodded, loyal fool, forging ahead.
Now,
in a holding cell that reeked of bleach and broken dreams, I paced Elena's Lululemon tracksuit, evidence. They called it, like her life was a crime scene. The reverse swap hit like vertigo 1 minute, her curves and confidence the next, my ink and aches, the tattoos a roadmap of regrets. Jake had vanished into the night. His art, now a viral thread dissecting the Harpers, soul swap or psyop. Comments raged, justice for Mia versus family first, pitting my heroic revenge against Elena's martyr shield. A guard wrapped the bars. Harper, lawyer. Victor's shark. Harlan. Waited in the consult room. Tie askew. Face like weathered leather.
Mia.
This is salvageable if you play ball.
Ball.
I spat, sinking into the plastic chair. You mean recant? Paint Elena the victim? And let your boss skate? He slid a folder, depositions. Sealed. Dad's will. Amended post-diagnosis. To Elena, the empire. To Mia, the apartment, as atonement for dragging her into his mess. The swap? Victor's brainchild. Yes, but pitched as mercy, Elena cracking under grief, needing my resilient shell to testify clean. I'd been the mule, dosed during that visit, my consent a forgery on a napkin. You bore the mistake, Harlan droned, but she bore the weight. Drop charges, joint statement, tragic misunderstanding, and the apartment's yours. Clean slate.
Clean.
The word mocked. My slate was smeared with 3 years of yard time, whispers of white-collar horror from the guards who'd seen too many falls. Elena's perfection had been a cage too, Victor's control, masked as love. Neural tweaks dialing her anxiety to 0 while amplifying mine. The lab logs, leaked by Jake's hacker pal, showed it. Beta tests on volunteers, side effects like phantom pains, identity bleed. I'd felt her highs in my lows, coke-fueled rages in the clink, her boardroom highs as adrenaline rushes during lockdown. No deal, I said, shoving the folder back. Tell Victor, the stranger's door stays open. Let the world in. Harlan's sigh was paternal.
Pitying.
You're torching it all.
Kid.
For what? A view. For me. But doubt wormed in as he left. What if Elena was right? My revenge, luring Jake, Crashing the gala hadn't reclaimed, it had ricocheted, painting us both as freaks in a tabloid circus. Sinan looped the footage, me in her gown. Venomous toast, her and mine, crumbling like a starlet exposed.
Mom.
On Geraldo Light, wept, my girls. Lost to ambition. Parole revoked pending investigation. I got 30 days in Gen Pop, irony's gift. The white-collar wing now a circus tent for the swapped scandal. Elena bunked across the block. Our rehab segregated. But notes smuggled via laundry. Twist hurts.
Sis.
But blood's blood. Fight smart. Her script. My old chicken scratch. I burned it, but the ash stuck. Weeks blurred into routine. Therapy circles where shrinks probed dissociative identity, cons swapping conspiracy yarns about elite body hops. One night, lights out, a shadow slipped under my door, Jake. Somehow, greased guard with art commission cash. He looked haunted, laptop balanced on knees like contraband contrition. Couldn't stay away, he grinned, but his eyes were hollow. Your story's blowing up. Podcast deals. Netflix pitch.
But.
I dug deeper.
Deeper.
The word chilled. He pulled files, Victor's emails, not to Elena, but from her to a PI. Dated pre-swap.
Tell Mia.
She's cracking. Dad's guilt eating her. Frame it right. We flipped the script. Elena hadn't protected, she'd preempted. Dad confessed to me in whispers, begging I fix the books. I'd refused, loyal to law over love. She'd stepped in, then pinned it back when I wouldn't play. The swap, her escalation. Victor's tech to prove my instability, neural scans faked, showing delusions of persecution. You were the mistake, Jake murmured. Screen glow etching regret. She gambled you'd take the heat, stay silent for family. But you fought. Fought or flailed, rage reignited. But twisted, not at her. At the mirror we'd both shattered. Where's Victor? Testifying. Immunity deal, spill on bigger fish. Cyber fraud rings. Elena's holding. Lawyered up. Says she'll cop to conspiracy if you do. Joint sentence. Minimal. Minimal. A year. Maybe. In some cushy Fed resort. But the apartment? Auctioned to pay victims. Dad's ghost clients. Screwed by his desperation. My tomatoes. Trampled. Jake lingered. Hand on the bars. End it.
Mia.
The fantasy, hers.
Yours.
Stranger at the door was me.
But now?
Walk away. I nodded. But as he ghosted into shadows, I scratched a reply on soap sliver. Doors open. Let's burn it together. Smuggled to her cell by morning. The hearing loomed. A circus in mahogany. Judge with a gavel like Judgment Day. Press corralled behind velvet ropes. Elena and I, side by side in orange jumpsuits that swallowed our swapped scars. Face the bench. Victor testified first. Slick as ever. Tragic error in experimental therapy. No malice, grief's fog. Bullshit. But his eyes pleaded. For her. Then us. Elena spoke. Voice raw, mine. Still, I thought I was saving us. Dad's sins. I made them mine. Then hers. Mistake upon mistake. Tears. Real ones. Carving tracks down my cheeks. My turn. The room hushed. Mike's hot. She betrayed me. I started. Voice steady. Gasps built as I unspooled it. the frame, the swap, the stranger's key turning the lock on illusion. But then the pivot. That betrayal's a two-way mirror. I knew Dad's mess. Signed off on silences. We both wore the guilt. Swapped or not. The real crime? Letting power, victors, the systems, dictate the fit. Murmurs swelled. The judge leaned in. And the revenge. Emma's. Harper? Gala stunt. Climax, I said. Meeting Elena's gaze. Mirror to mirror. Twist, we're both the villain. Both the victim. And the fantasy? We burn it down together. She nodded. Faint. A ghost of our old pact. Victor paled. Harlan buried his face. Verdict. Plea deal. 18 months concurrent, time served plus probation. No swap tech. Labs shuttered under FDA raids. Out in weeks. We'd rebuild, not empire, but amends. Mom's trust fund. Modest. Split 3 ways, her,
Us.
and a foundation for neural ethics. But the apartment? We let it go. Jake sublet it. His sculptures filling the void, twisted forms of sisters entwined. Breaking free. He sent keys. Anonymous. Open door policy. Your move. We didn't. Instead, Elena and I met at the old Hamptons plot. Weeds choking Dad's roses. Truce, she asked, handing a trowel. Replant, I countered. Hands in dirt, hers mine. Mine hers, no swaps. Just soil and sweat. Fantasy ended. But the real story? Debatable. Heroines or huberistics, the press still argues. We just grow. Probation's leash was lighter than Riker's bars. But it chafed like cheap wool against healing wounds, 6 months of check-ins, therapy mandates, and the low hum of public autopsy. Elena and I decamped to a Jersey Shore rental. A clapboard cottage with peeling paint and ocean views that whispered start over instead of stare down. No penthouses. No co-ops, just salt air and second chances. Funded by Mom's discretionary wire, her way of saying sorry without the slurred apologies over FaceTime. Victor? Divorced in absentia. His assets frozen mid-flight to Singapore. Last seen on grainy CCTV haggling with triad ghosts. Good riddance, his empire crumbled faster than a Jenga tower in a stiff breeze. Mornings, we'd run the boardwalk. Legs sinking in that uncanny valley rhythm, my stride in her frame. Her pace in mine. Echoes of the swap lingering like neural tinnitus. Feel that, she'd pant. Wind whipping her, my hair. Like Dad's ghost jogging shotgun. Or Victor's invoice. I'd shoot back. But the barbs dulled. Therapy unpacked it. Betrayal as symbiosis. We'd armored each other in absence. I'd borne the cell for her secrets. She'd worn my skin to testify truths I couldn't face. The PI files Jake unearthed? Half-truths. Elena's frame was a feint, routing funds to expose Dad's docs. But Victor intercepted, twisting it into cover. My refusal to fix. The catalyst. We'd both gambled family on fault lines. Jake became our unlikely tether. Crashing weekends with craft brews and canvases, his latest series. Doppelganger Drift. Sold out at a Bushwick pop-up. Critics raving about the Harper haunting. He and Elena sparked. Tentative, shared smokes on the porch. Debating Basquiat over takeout Thai.
Me?
I sketch logos for a startup. Ethical AI. Irony not lost, watching them like a third wheel with vested interest. Don't swap on me, I'd joke. But nights alone. The mirror mocked. Whose eyes were these? Really? The controversy crested at the 6-month mark, a 60-minute special. Swap sisters, revenge or redemption. Correspondent with a voice like velvet gravel grilled us in the cottage. Cameras capturing salt-streaked windows and our synced hesitations.
Mia.
You let a stranger, Mr. Ellis, into your home, your life. Was that justice or just another betrayal? I leaned forward, coffee mug steaming like unresolved fog. Justice is debatable. Anderson. Jake opened the door to truth, Elena's truth.
Mine.
The fantasy? That we could steal lives without the bill coming due. I paid in years. She paid in identity. Victor? He footed the tech tab. But we're all in collections. Elena chimed. My voice steady. The twist? There was no villain arc. Just a family Mobius strip. Dad's mistake started it. Our loyalty looped us in. Mia's revenge forced the untwist. Cuts to Victor's empty chair. His lawyer demurring. Experimental error. No intent.
Bull.
Leaks post-airing showed his therapy-funded black market organ trades, body swaps for the dying rich. Husks like me discarded. Feds raided residuals. Headlines screamed elite resurrection ring busted.
Post-show.
The world split. Forums lit with Mia vindicated. Decrying sisterly sabotage. TikToks memed Elena as the real MVP, martyr in thief's clothing. Protests outside the old co-op. Activists in neural net masks demanding body autonomy laws. We ignored. But Jake thrived. His TEDx talk the stranger at the threshold going viral. Doors aren't just entries, they're reckonings. Mia let me in. And out poured the American dream's underbelly, power, privilege. The price of playing God. One stormy night. Gale howling like banshees off the Atlantic. The past knocked. Mrs. Kowalski. Super from the West 72nd days. Ubered up with a shoebox. For the girls. Found it in the sublet. Your subletta left it. Jake's handwriting on the lid. Open if ready. Inside, the apartment keys. A flash drive labeled full disclosure. And a note. Fantasies over. But stories? They evolve. Use it or burn it. You're stranger. We plugged in. Rain lashing windows like accusations. Footage first. Jake's hidden cam from that first night. Me and Elena's skin. Pacing. Spilling guts. Then docs. Unredacted. Dad's full confession. Videotaped in hospice haze. Begging both daughters to let it go. Build clean. Elena's emails to the PI? Not framing, but freeing, tailing me to prove I'd resisted Dad's pleas. Her sacrifice to shield my innocence. Victor's logs. He'd pushed the swap. Not for mercy, but monopoly, neural patents to corner the enhancement market. Elena his testbed. Me the control. The twist reversed again. Elena hadn't stolen my life. She'd loaned it.
Post-swap.
To bait Victor's exposure. Where me? She'd whispered in a smuggled note during holding. Let the shark bite his own tail. My gallow rant? Orchestrated, her anonymous tip to Jake. His scoop the fuse. We'd co-revenged. Sisters in sync. The stranger our unwitting MacGuffin. Tears mixed with laughter. Salt and storm. You bitch, I gasped. Hugging her, us. You let me think. Hook.
Line.
Sinker, she grinned. Eyes, mine, sparkling. Had to be real for the fall. We burned the drive in the fireplace. Embers dancing like liberated souls.
Keys?
Mailed to a shelter. Open door for dreamers. The cottage lease ended. We headed west. Mom's bequest a van packed with easels and laptops. LA. Maybe. Sun-soaked reinvention. Far from Manhattan's maw. Last East Coast dawn. Boardwalk empty. We scattered Dad's ashes. Pinched from the urn. Rebel right. To mistakes, Elena toasted with thermos coffee. And rebuilds, I added, arm linked in hers. Debatable ending. Harmony or hollow. The press calls it Harper Harmony, but whispers linger. Did we truly end the fantasy? Or just recast the roles? Jake texts from Brooklyn. Sequel? We ghost. Driving into sunrise. Doors ajar for whatever stranger fate sends next. Blood's thicker than swaps. After all. Or so we bet.